Just left Tampa's Hillsborough County Library, public library on Ashley Street. And back to vlogging I go. Nice fountain right there in front of the library. It is now after 12 in the afternoon, and it is blazing hot. I'm at the corner of Ashley and Cass Street. This is the Glazer Children's Museum right here. Get a load of these fountains right here. Again, this is the Glazer Children's Museum, and this is Curtis Hixon Waterfront Park. Curtis Hixon Waterfront Park. It's a 8-acre waterfront park located in the heart of downtown next to Hillsborough River. And as we just saw, it was the Glazers Children's Museum, but they also have the Tampa Museum of Art and a couple of other museums on the premises as well. So it's a huge green space. Get a nice view of the downtown buildings right here. And that right there is the Tampa Museum of Art. That building. Now, before Tampa's current convention center, where the Tampa Museum of Art is located, is where the previous convention center was located. So the Museum of Art is built where the Hixon Convention Center was built way back in like the 60s. So when they revitalized the waterfront area, particularly this park, that's when they added the Tampa Museum of Art. And this is the current day Hixon Waterfront Park. And you see these palm trees as they grace this landscape. I wonder what that building is right there, shaped like a cylinder. Not sure what that is over there. Not sure if that's a college campus. It looks like a college campus because there's a huge cluster of buildings together, and the buildings that stand out are those buildings right there. With the golden domes on them, or the silver domes on them. I believe that's the University of Tampa. That might be the campus. And if it is, I mean, that's pretty dope to have a college campus right next to a waterfront. Goes another one of the statues, and this is of the environmentalist by the name of Kate Victoria Jackson, who made many contributions to Tampa. And at a time when women could not vote, she led lobbying for essential public services. Parks and playgrounds were her biggest achievement, and the Tampa Civic Association, which she founded in 1910, was a major factor in creating the city's first water and sewage system. So sanitation was very key to preventing yellow fever epidemics that had plagued the area. So Kate Jackson was born in Tampa to Irish immigrants, and so she was a staunch environmentalist. That's cool. It's always good to get involved and protect the environment to the best of our abilities. So stop throwing trash in the rivers. Throw them in trash receptacles. We have an overabundance of trash receptacles. No, seriously. And another major figure in the history of Tampa is Henry Bradley Plant, who from 1819 and through 1899, excuse me, 1819 to 1899, he graced this earth. And Henry Plant changed the economics and image of Tampa forever with this plant system of railroads, steamships, and hotels. And after the Civil War, Plant helped to rebuild the railroad system throughout the South. He purchased financially troubled railroads and laid new lines, creating a transportation empire that stretches into Florida. On January 22nd, 1884, the Plant system of railways reached Tampa. Plant extended the line to Port Tampa City and developed the port as a major deep water shipping hub. In 1898, it was the U.S. Army's post of embarkation during the Spanish-American War, where Plant's railroads and steamships made it easier for Florida's products to reach distant markets. So Tampa was an important terminus for passengers and cargo on Florida's west coast. So essentially, you know, this gentleman right here, Mr. Henry Plant, he purchased a lot of railroad companies that were going under economically and basically revitalized them. And, you know, of course, railroads during that time were a very important major method of transportation to ship cargo. And yeah, that's what it was. You know, so like just, you know, like yeah, he was a huge figure during that time. And railroads were, and still is, a very key component in shipping goods as well as cargo ships. So Plant was one of the pioneers in making sure transportation via railroad and ships were possible during that time in Florida, Tampa specifically.
Population.
So they did a really good job of making this Riverwalk Park extremely pristine and relaxing. A lot of flavor added to this Riverwalk. And again, that's the campus of the University of Tampa, overlooking the Hillsborough River. And there goes another look of the Museum of Art for Tampa. And that's it. That is the Hixon Waterfront Park, named after the mayor of Tampa, Curtis Hixon. Now, Curtis Hixon was actually the mayor of Tampa, let's see, actually, no, he was elected to the Tampa City Council in 1929, and then he became mayor of Tampa around World War I. So he was the mayor around the time where Tampa built its international airport. And before that, it was a major airfield used for the rationing of food supplies and also munitions. Here's another major figure, Garfield DeVoe Rogers, aka GD. And in 1905, with no money, GD Rogers began his trek from Georgia to Central Florida, walking along railroad tracks and, it is said, selling railroad ties to buy food. In Bradenton, he quickly developed business skills and civic activism. In 1922, he helped create Tampa Central Industrial Life Company, an agency that sold insurance policies to blacks. So this was a huge entrepreneur during a time, again, this was in the 1920s. So he played a huge role in activism and also helping register black voters at a time where black voters were disenfranchised and completely, well, at least in the Jim Crow era, they were disenfranchised, but they also established political power after the Reconstruction era, or during the Reconstruction era. So a lot of historical figures linked to the city of Tampa. And once again, this was Curtis Hixon Park. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it here and get more footage as we proceed through this video. Yeah, I had to get this. I'm at the corner of Ashley and Zach Street, and this is the legendary Jimi Hendrix, his marker. Jimi Hendrix from 1942 to 1970, one of the most influential musicians and guitarists of the 20th century. His legacy, dedication, and passion for music transcends all boundaries and brings people from all walks of life together. So he performed 2 nights here in Tampa between the dates of August 18th and November 23rd of 1968 at what was once Curtis Hixon Hall, which is now the beautiful Curtis Hixon Waterfront Park. It is important to note that out of the 216 concerts Hendrix played from the 1967 to 1970 with the Jimi Hendrix Experience, 2 of them were in Tampa. The Jimi Hendrix Experience had been on the road touring for at least 2 years, and by that time they were near sellouts with over 7,000 fans attending each night. Unfortunately, Jimi Hendrix was only 27 years old when he passed away, but his life and his lasting impact on the musicians of Tampa Bay is a part of the rich history of downtown Tampa. So that is an image of Jimi Hendrix strumming that guitar. I was actually listening to Red House while I was in the library, as a matter of fact. And just so happens that they happen to be a marker right there. But yes, that's the late great Jimi Hendrix, part of that 27 club of musicians who died at the age of 27. But Jimi Hendrix can play the heck out of a guitar. You know, I mean now you had Prince, but first you had Jimi Hendrix. The way he played those blues songs, unparalleled. Between him and B.B. King, I don't know. Walking down Zach Street now. TECO Energy's Tampa Electric Company, organized October 1899. So Colonel Peter O'Knight created the Tampa Electric Company, a utility company which served over 1,200 customers of electricity at that time. So the TECO Energy Company is a utility company here in Tampa.
Head north on North Florida Avenue toward East 7th.
And right here, this colorful building right here is the Tampa Theater. And in most major cities, they do have these old school Art Deco theaters right here. Actually, this is Mediterranean Revival style, excuse me. But this is Tampa Theater, and it was opened in 1926. So it's just under 100 years old. As you can see, it's a multi-story building. So those houses offices, and on the ground level, of course, is the theater. I'm over here on Franklin and Polk.
that he had probable cause?
And at the corner of Franklin Street and Polk Street lays the site of the Woolworth sit-in, Tampa's former FW Woolworth store. So again, you had another Woolworth sit-in. This was a nationwide sweep during that time. And the president, Clarence Fort, at the time of the NAACP Youth Council, and Reverend Leon Lowry, the NAACP state president, organized a sit-in with about 40 students from Middleton and H.W. Blake high schools. So they all congregated at the lunch counter at 801 Franklin Street. And of course, the things that ensued there was a bunch of police coming to arrest and do what they do best. So, and that was at that time arrest protesters. And I want to say it was in this building right here. It looks like the building where the Woolworth's department store was located. Or was like I said, doing some construction over here on the first floor of what looks like this hotel. It's either a hotel or an apartment building, but nevertheless, looks like a hotel. But that does it for all of the downtown footage for this Tampa vlog. But stay tuned, there's more footage from the city of Tampa. And I'm gonna close this Tampa video out with this footage of the Raymond James Stadium, which is the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, aka the Bucks. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been a franchise going as far back as 1976. So the first couple of decades, I mean, they were underachieving badly. They were the bottom of the barrel franchise in the NFL. But things turned around, I'd probably say, in the late 90s. And they've had a lot of success ever since then. And you know, they also won 2 Super Bowls within my lifetime. But here is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium. Now, Raymond James Stadium itself was opened in 1998. So the Buccaneers have had a lot of success right here in this stadium. They won 2 Super Bowls, and they've made, you know, in this particular stadium, they've made 10 playoff appearances and won 6 division titles. Well, actually 7 when you count 1999. They won 7 division titles in this building. But enough about that. Let's check out how nice this stadium looks on the outside. As you can see, you have these little tiki huts right here, and they have the design with the little beach. You got the sand right here. It's called the Bucks Beach. So I know during game day, it's obviously off season now, but I know during game day, it'd be packed over here, especially in this area. You know, it's a good place for the kids to hang out. But back to the football side, yes, a lot of successful players have played for the Buccaneers. I remember they had a solid defense, particularly in that Super Bowl run back in 2002, where they had Warren Sapp, Simeon Rice, Derrick Brooks, I'm sorry. Derrick Brooks, the linebacker. They had John Lynch as a safety. They had Ronde Barber as a corner. I mean, their defense was locking things up. And that year that they won the Super Bowl, Dexter Jackson, who was a safety, was the Super Bowl MVP. And 18 years later, the GOAT, Tom Brady, bought a chip to the city of Tampa as well. So shout out to the GOAT, Tom Brady. Also, I know y'all remember the A-Train, Mike Allstott. Work done. I believe Joey Galloway played for the Buccaneers at one point. And it's so many great players who put on a Buccaneers uniform. Oh yeah, Steve Young, before he hit Hall of Fame status, he played for the Buccaneers. And this was during their early days. With that in mind, I'm gonna go ahead and end this vlog. And thank you guys for tuning in to this video. And if you like this video of the city of Tampa, please hit that like button as well as the subscribe button if you're new. And stay tuned. I'm gonna keep dropping this content, so you know how that goes. With that in mind, you guys, you take care, have yourselves a great evening, and peace.